Hello. This is Joe.
And I'm Jordan.
And welcome to Double Trouble Features. That was deep. It had some bass to it.
I know. I was like, I've been going high lately, so like I need to start
switching it
again.
up.
When they go low, we stay low.
Yeah,
okay.
and we go lower. Welcome to the weekly podcast where we talk about all things movies, television, and just what's on these damn screens.
Yes, we got a good week this good episode this week. We're going to talk about some movies that are out. It's getting that little creepy season right now.
I can see a deflated pumpkin.
No, it's not a pumpkin. It's actually a giant spider. When I tell you it glows up at night, it's actually kind of cool. Now that I own a house, I'm just like, do I buy these decorations?
The 12-foot tall skeleton.
I like, because we liked Halloween. I thought about it. But then I saw the price, and I was like, I'm good on it.
How much is one of those? Like $500? Is it more or less?
If you go to Costco, they're not terrible, or Sam's Club, they're not that bad. I wanted this Giants like Reaper, and it was like only like $150, and I was like, And my wife was like, no. I was like, cool. But she liked the cute one that's like $350. I was like, hell no, I ain't spending $350. But
yeah, we want to scare neighborhood children away. We don't want to invite them in.
Yes.
What are we on? What is Halloween about?
Do not know.
Children? Fuck that. But no, yeah, we have a great list of things coming up today. And yeah,
let's get into it. So today we're going to start with just some TV shows, actually, instead of movies like we normally do.
Both FX shows.
Both FX.
Wow.
You know, first of all, I want to shout out FX because like I didn't see FX becoming this kind of studio that they are now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, like at the very beginning.
I felt like that, well, because they had like The Shield and Rescue Me and like American Horror Story. But like those were all prestige television shows at the time. American Horror Story has fallen off hard.
So I think American Horror Story was like that kind of like first one that like really started the trajectory. And then, like, you put out Atlanta, you put out The Bear, you put out a couple shows that we're going to talk about right now. They've just been winning awards and awards and awards. And
they're all owned by Disney.
Yeah, they are. The mouse.
The mouse with the most. Oh, God. He's got it all over us.
He's got it all. And so the mouse is now getting into the classroom. And so the show I'm going to talk about is English Teacher. If you haven't seen it or anything like that, I give it, and we're going to kind of talk about this. Yeah. I give it a solid 5, because I don't think it's a bad show. I don't think it's like a great show or anything like that. But it's basically about a English teacher who is gay, and kind of like how he is traversing through this world of like being in education.
And it is in Texas. That is a key. That is a key factor of the storylines. No, I've been watching it too. I think it's really funny, but
so what'd you give it?
I would give it like a 6.5. I don't think it's like necessarily straight 7, but like I don't think you're far off. I think there are a lot of really funny parts, but like I don't know, we can kind of get into it. There's a lot of things in that I just like don't think are for straight people. And what's interesting about it is the main character, I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden, but he was really funny in YouTube. That's kind of like where he got his come up. If you like don't know, he was like played Caleb Gallo, and he was in a very famous like video that went viral on gay Twitter a while back, but it's a very inside joke show.
It is. Like, it definitely is.
And if you're not in on the joke, it's not going to be funny. It's a lot of nods to the camera and like winks here and there. It's not. It's almost like The Office, but for straight people, like for gay people, like reversed.
And so like, and you and me were talking about this before we got on. Is just there's a lot of conversations that he's having that like you might have like on the daily with like straight people explaining some things and stuff like that. And I feel like from like my perspective as like, you know, just being an ally, I see those conversations, especially like being a black man. Like I understand that kind of stuff, and like those conversations get annoying, or get frustrating or something like that. And so me watching those actual conversations happening, you're just like, oh my God, like, come on, like.
Yeah, no, and explaining like watching him, like there's one key point in it where like he gets in trouble at the school because he kissed his boyfriend in front of a student. And like that's like, this is like the first episode, not spoiling anything.
Yep.
But and him having these conversations, like to me, they're funny because I feel like I've had to have these conversations with people in my everyday life. Like, hey, like don't just like, you can come over and like be around the kids, like don't like hold your boyfriend's hand or stuff like that. And like, it's funny when you're in on the joke, but I could see why you would just be like kind of uncomfortable about it and just be like, you're like, ugh.
But then also like I come from a perspective of like being an ex-teacher. And so like I would never kiss my wife in front of kids at all, ever. But I understand.
That's kind of interesting because I definitely feel like I grew up in well, we don't need to get into
your school's different.
My high school experience. High school experience. Our teachers were making out with anybody.
Yes. But like I would never do that in front of kids. And even if I did, you know, like he made a perfect point. He was just like, "Oh, if I was straight, this would be totally fine and you guys would encourage it and everything like that." And again, this is the first episode, so like not really that much spoiler, but like he gets off of it because they threaten of like, hey, I'll tell everybody that your kid's gay. And I was just like, and like I understood that conversation. I understand like what the dynamics of everything's happening, but I felt like, especially in that episode, there was no like real resolution of like, well, was that the right thing to do?
It comes up in later episodes.
Yeah, I understand. Like, but like at the time, like when you're watching it, you're just like,
oh no one in the show does the right thing.
Yes.
Ever. They're all very messy people. But to me, that's what makes it fun, is like it actually feels like real people trying their best and making mistakes. It doesn't always have a happy little bow at the end.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of like what I find fun
enjoyable
about it.
Yeah.
But like the situations they get into are absolutely ridiculous.
Stupid. Yeah,
like it's just like no teacher would ever do this. And like with like the Powder Puff Girl.
Yeah.
I was like, see, now you're laughing.
Yeah.
But
no, and again, I'm not saying that like it's not like I think the show is. I think it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
And I think people should watch it.
At least try it out.
Yeah, at least try it out. And if it's not for you, but I understand.
It's very dry. It's very sardonic humor.
It is, yes.
It's just
yes. It's not going to be it's not going to laugh out loud.
No,
kind of
it's
humor.
like gay quippy being mean kind of jokes.
Yes.
And if you're not in on the joke, then you won't get it.
Yeah, no. And the thing about English teacher is I always just compare it to Abbott. And the difference is, I think the main difference is one's elementary and one's high school. Abbott's a little bit more elementary to middle school, to like 6th, 7th grade, and high school. And those two dramas are way different. And those two types of teachers are way different. But I think Abbott is, again, just a little bit more palatable for, a lot more people. And
that's why it's on a primetime ABC and not on FX.
And as a former teacher, I feel like it goes a little bit more deeper into like the nuances of like how screwed up the actual system is.
Yeah.
Instead of just, hey, we're just focusing on, a character or a couple characters. And so I think that's the big.
Well, and that's the thing is like I feel like English teacher isn't even about him teaching at all.
It's not at all.
It's about his life and just him. And so like maybe that's like kind of where it's playing into a different thing. Like he is an English teacher, but that's just kind of like part of it. Yeah. It's the main part of it, but I mean, you very rarely see him like teaching a classroom. Or the problems aren't necessarily like. I feel like the problems in Abbott Elementary are more like
classroom based.
Yeah, like it's like we need money for these students to get this, and then like but the problems in English teacher are like the queer club is mad at the football team for dressing in drag but not doing it respectfully for the Powder Puff games. And so it's kind of like and so I think what I find really interesting about this show and like what's kind of interesting is because like I am a millennial 30-year-old white gay man, and to be honest, I think watching him watching him navigate a lot of these like I don't know how to say, like these newer problems within not problems, I don't want to say problems, but these newer heavier discussions in the queer community, because like gay marriage, it was in 2015, and so a lot's happened since then. A lot of things have happened in the queer space, in the queer communities, and I think watching him trying to navigate a lot of the new Gen Alpha kind of add-ons to it, because they have been adding on to the culture in different ways, and I think that like queer people have been used as a translator, like queer white men have been used as a translator for a lot of straight people. Yeah. And I feel like this isn't translating for straight people.
Yeah, and I actually fully agree. Also,
because he's not white.
The kids in this show, they're not kids. These do not look like any kind of high schoolers I've ever seen in my life.
I think they were just going for like the biggest, most egregious Gen Alpha stereotypes, because they're like, there's the blue-haired liberal, the fucking incel, all this stuff. He's like, I brought a bomb to school for the bit. They're like,
bro, okay, the bit dude. I actually love the bit kid.
He's like, it was a bit.
It's like, no, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Do you even know what a bit was? Yeah, something you do.
God.
But no, it's, I think, give it a try.
Yeah,
if you don't find the first episode funny, just turn it off. You don't need to say anything about it. Just go on with your life.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think people should just give it a try. I would agree with that. All right, Joe. It is spooky season.
It is spooky season.
And there's some disgusting things out there.
There are
some very grotesque kind of things.
Oh, so grotesque.
But you know who's not grotesque? Travis Kelce.
Oh, baby boy.
I have a question. Actually, I have a question on Travis Kelce. All right, so like, where would you put him on like hottest males currently right now?
So that's the thing, is like, if Travis Kelce spoke and acted like Patrick Mahomes, he'd be like a 4 to me. But he's got that swagger to him. He's just got
saucy white boy.
He's a saucy white. He's got that thing to him. I don't know what they're doing up in Ohio, but like he's just got that swagger to him that just like elevates it. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a very attractive man.
Do you like him shaved or hair?
I like the little bit of hair on top.
A little bit of hair?
I think it adds to him.
Stash or beard?
That's a hard one. I would say marriage, beard, just a quick stash.
Okay, there we go. The reason why we're bringing up Travis Kelce is because he's in the show that you watched.
I have been watching Grotesquerie, so you don't have to. No, I don't know how I feel about it, because that's how I always feel with Ryan Murphy shows, because like, where a season of a show starts with Ryan Murphy and where a season of a show ends with Ryan Murphy, it's fucking crazy. And even in these first 4 episodes that I've watched so far, it's just like where are we going with this? So what it is basically a murder mystery. There's a serial killer doing some real sick, fucked up shit. And the head detective on the case is Niecy Nash.
Shout out Niecy.
If you're not sure who Niecy Nash is, she was very popular in Reno 911. More recently, she was in Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Also, Claws, fantastic show. Also, like she's really getting into like, at once Claws hit, and it was like a comedy drama. Dramedy, that's the word. And she kind of just started going into more serious roles, and I've kind of liked it because she brings this whole I don't know, just kind of dirtiness to it because it is grotesquerie. And so in this show, she is trying to find this killer who's like just doing these like kidnapping homeless people and stringing them up in a church like the Last Supper and
Jesus.
yeah, and like gross stuff. And so she actually takes on the help from a nun reporter who is she is yeah. Hold on, I'll explain it because I knew that would need explanation. So this lovely young lady, she is a reporter for a Catholic news source that has recently started going more towards murders, the occult, that kind of thing, and reporting on the religious symbology in all of these things.
Okay.
And so Niecy Nash, she starts showing up. She's like doing all this stuff, asking Niecy Nash all these questions. And Niecy Nash is just kind of like, do you just want to help out? And so now it's Niecy Nash and this nun running around trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with these murders and who this man is who's killing all these people. And so it's very interesting because Niecy Nash is like an alcoholic and her husband's in a coma and her daughter is like very overweight and like actively trying to stay overweight specifically. No. Hold on. Specifically so she can get on a weight loss reality TV show and become a star.
Are there people out there like that?
I wonder because like I'm thinking of like The Biggest Loser and shows like that. Like, did people potentially gain weight just to go on those shows? I don't know, but Ryan Murphy is answering this question for you here.
I think he just cracked the whole.
I know it's really fucked up, and so the mother-daughter relationship is really messed up because the mom is like Niecy Nash is always like, girl, you need to stop fucking eating. You're going to eat yourself to death. And then the daughter is like, well, you won't stop fucking drinking. She's like an adult. Like they just live together. And so she's like, well, I'll stop.
Because if I said that to my mom, I'm getting slapped.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. She's like, then you need to stop drinking if you want me to stop eating. And it's just like this constant struggle between these two characters. Yeah. Where Travis Kelce does come in, he is an orderly at the hospital that her husband is in a coma at and is in long-term care. She also has a lot of issues with that because like he's in a coma, he's been in a coma, and the doctors are literally like, you either need to like relinquish him to us or just like move on, like let us send him somewhere else. Like this isn't working. And she's like, no, it's my husband. But then like Travis Kelce shows up and they got kind of like a flirtation thing going on. I'm not entirely sure, but it's like Ryan Murphy. So I'm not entirely sure if he's even real because he says his name's Eddie. And so Niecy Nash keeps calling him Fast Eddie. And every time she calls him Fast Eddie and I'm like, ooh, but if Travis came up to me talking like that,
you call him Fast Travis?
Yeah, I'm cheating on my husband in the coma.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care about him.
So, okay. Does he get that much screen time though? I feel like he doesn't get that much.
So not in the first 2 episodes. He didn't even like show up. He shows up in episode 3 and he was kind of a consistent player in episode 4. So I'm interested to see where that goes. What's interesting though is, Jesus Christ. I was about to say, I haven't seen Ryan Murphy. Like Ryan Murphy likes to treat white boys of the month like we've always treated women in media and just slut them out on TV. He's very known to do this. I'm kind of waiting for him to slut Travis out a little. It hasn't happened yet, but we've been spending a lot of time with this like Gen Z priest who like he's just like he like masturbates and then beats himself and like whips himself because he feels bad about it, but then he's like lighting candles in the church while wearing wearing assless chaps and a jock strap, lighting candles in church when he's alone.
This can't be on this can't be on ABC or Fox or anything like that.
Nope. It is an FX show. It is a Ryan Murphy show. There's a lot of just like
hell yeah,
but not Travis's, and that's what but I don't think we're gonna get it. I really don't. But I don't know. Travis is kind of a team player. Maybe we'll see. But I will say I'd give it about like a 6. It's kind of slow to start. You have to like really be a fan of like Niecy Nash to be invested from the beginning. It hasn't really. Like I said, it's a Ryan Murphy show. I don't know where the fuck we're going. Can't wait to find out.
Can't wait. Giving updates on the review.
Yeah, no, like we'll see. Again, I think this is kind of a similar idea. Is like if you like true crime, murder mystery with some like heavy religious overtones to it and then like very gay undertones to it because nobody's really gay yet. It's just kind of it like the jockstrap was the biggest thing, but then the priest fucked a woman.
Somebody's gonna be.
Spoilers.
Somebody's gonna be.
It's really taking its time to get to the gay shit, and I'm kind of like, come on, Ryan Murphy, let's
He's
hurry
like,
up.
hey, come on, I need to masturbate and whip myself.
I know he did that Menendez Brothers shows, and he had him fucking in the first episode of some shit like that. I don't even know what was going on,
bro. That
Ryan.
I was going to talk about that show next episode, but. What?
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't know where Ryan Murphy's going with these ones, but he's swinging big. I'll give him that.
Hey, we stay all swinging. Transformers, robots in disguise. I saw you try to keep that straight face, and then you were like, "Nope, I can't."
You were just like, it was just so nasal. Transformers, like,
robot.
Is
that not like how you talk like a robot?
I guess so. Like, yes, that is. I just didn't know we were doing voices right now.
Yes. Anyway, the movie I watched this week is Transformers 1. I took my little nephews and everything to go see it.
It's kind of confusing. Transformers 1.
It kind of is. I'm not going to lie.
Because Transformers 1, the original Transformer. Okay. You see,
yeah.
I hate it already.
Yeah, those 3 brain cells were really working hard.
No, it's too much.
But anyway, if you don't know, Transformers 1 is an animation movie. It is, I think it's DreamWorks. Do not fact check me on that.
Illumination? No.
I don't think it's Illumination.
I feel like they're like Warner Brothers, aren't they? I honestly don't know.
Yeah. None of us know.
Wow. That was no help for anyone.
I know. Sorry.
Keep listening along.
Again, this is the podcast that we know everything. But anyway, so it is basically kind of like how like Optimus Prime and Megatron kind of start, you know? They were basically both just workers in the world of Transformers before the, you know, basically if you've seen the Shia LaBeouf Transformers, their world was destroyed, blown up to bits and everything because of the war.
Do you remember?
It is Sent. No, it's not Sentinel Prime. It is Damn, I forgot.
See, I've been trying to remember. I really need to just start Googling shit. But I'm like, oh, well, when will that come up?
Yeah. Exactly. So basically what happens is there were the primes.
Yes.
Right? There's a group of these people, of these Transformers.
Like a ruling class?
Yeah, like a ruling class that were for the people. And they let all this like energy and stuff flow. And then all of a sudden, they all went to war to fight these monsters away, and then they all died. Except for one guy. His name is Sentinel Prime, played by John Hamm.
Ooh.
Yeah. John Hamm actually does a great voice acting job.
John Hamm is just great in general.
Yeah. He is. He's a good actor.
I didn't realize I was going to get horny listening to this movie. Okay.
And so basically from there, then on, they had to... The Matrix, the Matrix that the Alpha Prime had is lost and gone. And so that Matrix is what had brought all the energy and flowing into the planet. And since that's gone, they've had to now start mining for energy and stuff like that.
It seems like a poor battle strategy to send your sole power source out to war.
Yeah, it's a huge plot point. Huge plot point.
You're like, wow, Joe, you are really hitting the money there. Interesting. Good. Yes. Good.
And so fast forward some years, 50 years actually.
Because robots don't age.
Yes. So you have Chris Hemsworth, who plays Optimus Prime.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a hot cast so far. I've only heard 2 names.
You have Brian Tyree Henry, who plays Megatron. You have Scarlett Johansson, who plays Elite One, and you have who's the Michael Keaton Key. Oh, he plays Bumblebee.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I'd let him hit it.
So basically, Optimus Prime, he is him and Megatron are buddies. They work in this mining shift, and they've been working and working and working. And Optimus Prime has just, he's the idealist, has a vision.
He's ready to seize the means of production.
Exactly.
Come on, comrade.
Exactly. Well, Megatron is like the level-headed guy. Like, hey, eventually they get into a couple of things where they get in trouble and stuff like that, and they get thrown down into the dungeon, basically, where they just work for the rest of their lives trapped. And guess who was trapped down there? It was Bumblebee. And Bumblebee's crazy, which Michael Keegan Key plays fucking perfectly.
Does he talk?
Keegan Michael Key. There we go.
Does he talk throughout the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've never watched a movie where Bumblebee can just talk.
Yes. No, he talks in this. He definitely talks in this. And basically what happens is, try not to spoil it, but what happens is once they start to kind of get outskirts of like the town that they're in, they start to realize that a lot of things that they thought weren't true, are the things that they thought were true are not anymore. And so they kind of go into this quest of like, how do I, help save the city? How do I help save the world and stuff like that?
It sounds like three young adults achieving class consciousness. And I don't know if that's something we should be showing our children.
No, dead honest. That is exactly this entire movie.
Oh, I love a movie.
We are trying to understand that there is a ruling class. We're trying to stop being just the workers for this ruling class, and we overthrow it. But then there's factions, which basically makes, if again, not a spoiler because we should all know how the movie ends. You have two factions. One faction took over, and then another faction feels left out. Autobots, fucking Decepticons. And so that's the movie. So basically, the entire movie, if you know the basics of Transformers,
you know where this is going.
Yes, you understand Megatron's going to turn evil.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is, and that's probably my biggest gripe about the movie, actually. I would give this movie 7, to be honest. It's actually a very enjoyable movie.
Would you say it's more aimed at kids or adults, or does it like kind of ride that line?
Rides the line very well.
Okay.
If you're a kid, you're having a fucking great time. The animation's cool. It's nice. It's very beautiful and stuff like that. You're having a great ass time as a kid. If you're an adult, you're kind of like, okay, you should know kind of how the steps are taken, but there's actually a lot of action in this movie.
I imagine so. And that's the thing is like, I remember seeing the trailer with my dad and my dad being like, oh, that's really cool. They would make another Transformers movie. I was like, you just watched that whole thing. And I was like, and I looked at it and I was like, you realize that it's 100% animated, right? And he goes, what?
Yeah.
And he was like kind of pissed about it. He's like, fuck that. I was like, but like even watching I was like, you just watched the whole trailer and you really couldn't
tell. you thought it was cool. Like
because and that's the thing about like animation. And I think that's really interesting. I think that we're on a
stigma.
I think it's like, I think we're finally getting over that stigma just a little bit, at least with our generation getting older.
Yeah.
Our generation having more of that buying power. They're starting to realize that animation isn't just for kids. Like, is it for kids? Yes. Most things are for kids.
Yep.
But it's not just for kids. And it can have fun both ways. And even with something like Transformers, because let's be honest, in the Michael Bay Transformers movies, that was animated too. Just Shia LaBeouf wasn't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
CGI.
It's CGI, and that's animated.
Yeah, no, my mom literally had, my mom was like, all right, do I take the kids to go see Wild Robot, which I'm definitely going to see, or do I go see Transformers? Showed her both trailers. She was like, yeah, Wild Robot is going to make me feel, but these robots fighting looks fun. And when I tell you it's a fun ride, the action scenes are actually fucking phenomenal. Way better than I thought, and actually a lot more action than I thought there was going to be. I think the build is a little slow, but once we start to get into it, we really get into it. the only critique I have is actually Megatron. So again, trying to not spoil it, when Megatron and Optimus Prime find out about their world is, not the world they thought it was, Optimus is like, hey, you know what? Let's help everybody. While Megatron's like, I've been betrayed. I'm going to fucking kill anybody and everybody. And the thing is, it was just such a switch from his personality before that, where he was kind of like the level-headed, and I thought there was going to be more of a gradual build for him to get to that point of Megatron that we do know. Mm-hmm. But it was more like like when I tell you it was an instant flip, it kind of like maybe like kind of take a step back of like, I felt like I didn't get that like real development. Instead, I just got a instant, hey, no, fuck all these people. These people just all need to die.
I don't know. I feel like men make decisions like that every day.
But they're not men. They're not men.
Then why does Scarlett Johansson's robot have tits? Explain that one.
Have you seen Optimus Prime's tits?
That is a chest.
Those are some titties.
That is a square chest. Because it's rounder.
Yeah, but like again, I think the movie has a couple of jokes here and there. Keegan-Michael Key, he's the comedy relief. Yeah. He actually does a good job. I think they actually gave his role, his lines, actual funny stuff. He actually was funny, and like there was one point where he's just making this voice, kept redoing it. I was like, you know what? Haha. You get a chuckle. You actually get some laughs out of me. Definitely take your kids. Definitely take your kids to go see this movie. But like for anybody that's like an adult and like serious, or like even like the Transformers stands, you'll enjoy this movie. There's nothing bad about it. It's actually only like an hour and like 40 minutes, so it's like not even too long or anything. That perfect right amount. Mm-hmm. And then again, the end of the movie is really is the climax is like awesome. So
we love a good climax.
Yeah, no, highly recommend. All right, so in light of spooky season, our boy Joe, the scare king himself.
Yes, I am a horror aficionado.
Yes, he's going to go through all the scary movies that he's watched.
Not even all of them, just the top 5.
Okay, I have a question. How many scary movies do you think you have seen in the past couple months?
Well, that doesn't really help because I've been on a Scream rewatch lately, and then I've also been I've also been on a Friday the 13th rewatch lately.
Include them.
I've also watched some of the Halloween movies. Probably, I don't know. Out of what was the time frame you gave me?
That's a couple months.
Couple months?
Let's say from July.
I watch horror movies for fun. Just on. I don't like.
Hey guys, this is just a PSA. Studies show that people who just watch scary movies for fun have mental problems. Okay. Anyway, so
I don't know. Listeners along, would this be your first time figuring out mental issues?
Oh yeah.
They're everyone's listening and they're like, that Joe, he seems like he has it all together and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yes.
It's just crazy that he would like horror.
I know.
No, to be honest, I probably watch at least a horror something every other day.
Every other day?
Yeah.
Again, don't
because I'm including television in that, just Grotesquerie, those kinds of stuff.
I like again, don't get me wrong, I love horror. I'm nowhere near on your level. Nowhere. But at the same time, I feel like I like action way more than you do. So
yeah, I mean, especially war movie action, I don't need that. I need ghosts and murder and mayhem. That's what tickles my pickle.
The thing is, there's just so many bad movies.
There are so many bad movies, but that's also what makes it fun. And like as a horror fan, like you go through like you go through the weird stuff together. And like as horror fans, as like a community.
Yep, that's true.
It
is a community. It is a community.
Like,
I'll
that's
give you
the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like there's like fan bases, but horror is such an all-encompassing genre that like so many people from so many different walks of life enjoy, and like that kind of thing. Because like for other things it's like, okay, you're a fan of Harry Potter, but you might not be a fan of The Lord of the Rings, and you might not be a fan of The Shape of Water. All fantasy movies.
I'm watching Harry Potter right now, rewatching all the Harry Potters, by the way.
I've watched those too much as a kid.
So so speaking of bad movies, let's talk about what are some of the bad horror movies you've seen.
Okay, so I just watched the new movie on Prime with Ariana DeBose, and it's called House of Spoils. And what it is about a New York chef, and she's trying to make her way up, and she's like leaving to go upstate to create some kind of like destination dining experience, like kind of like The Menu. But when she gets there, it's very like spooky, but it's just really not. And like, I don't know, like the scary parts are not that scary. The storyline is very like delved into like Ariana DeBose's character, which like she did a good-ish job, but at the end of the day, it was just a little, it just kind of fell flat because it relied so heavily on her. And there was like a weird power dynamic. So Barbie Ferrer is also in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she played Kat in Euphoria, for those who don't know. And like it was like her and Ariana DeBose's character just like butting heads the whole time. But like, I don't know. It just was not a good movie. It's on Prime though. So if you have Prime, you need something a little spooky.
Rating.
4.
Oh, a 4.
I wouldn't watch it.
Really?
I wouldn't watch it again.
I feel like you're going to give it worse than that.
It just, I mean, you know, in order for like me to give like a 3 or below, it's got to be like bad. Because there were times where I was interested in the plot and interested in what was going on, but there was a lot of meandering in between. And a lot of like just watching another woman of color lose her mind in the woods. And like, I feel like we've seen this story before, but like the twist is she kind of reclaimed it. And so I don't know, take it or leave it, but yeah, that's not meh. Second from the bottom, Salem's Lot. I love Salem's Lot. Stephen King adaptation. I love Salem's Lot from the original. I love Salem's Lot, Return to Salem's Lot. I even like the Salem's Lot with Rob Lowe in it. It was like a mini series on TBS a few years back.
I forgot that he did that.
Yeah, it was really good. But like, but that was like a mini series. And the problem with this movie was entirely the pacing. It took so. For those who don't know, Salem's Lot is about a man who comes to town, and all of a sudden people start going missing. It starts getting weird. Things start happening. Town's getting overrun by vampires. And I don't know, in the past and different interpretations of it, it felt like it took a little more time to get to where it was supposed to go. This one, it was like so character heavy at the front, and it was like really trying to get you enveloped in these characters, but there were so many characters, which is why the last time they did this, it was a mini series. But there's just so many characters that are key and integral to the plot and the meaning of the story that like it kind of got speed rushed, and then all of a sudden the town was completely overrun by vampires. It was it was just so fast that like, I don't know.
What'd you rate it?
I'd give it a good 5. I think it's another one that's like kind of spooky, kind of creepy. It'll scratch your itch. It'll give you a lot more Halloween vibes than House of Spoils will. But I don't know. There were fun parts of it. It definitely benefited from all of the new stylizations of movies. There's this one kid in it. Oh my God, he's so funny. And there's like one character, he's a little black kid. He is the smartest horror movie character I've ever seen in my fucking life. Cause
he's black.
Well, he's literally going back to make sure those motherfuckers are dead. Like he's that kid. And if anything, he redeems the movie. He's smart. He's an interesting character to watch. He's down for his friends. Stephen King is always about kids and those relationships, little brothers missing and that kind of stuff. So I will say that like he really brought a little life to the movie that I really enjoyed. Third from the top, Apartment 7A, prequel to Rosemary's Baby. Have you never seen Rosemary's Baby?
Nope. Who's Rosemary?
Oh my God. This is like quintessential horror. I'm pretty sure I don't even know how to have this conversation with you because it's a prequel about a movie you've never seen.
No, yeah.
So in Rosemary's Baby, there's a woman
who has a baby.
Yes.
Yay! Figured out the movie.
Now, whose baby is it?
Rosemary's.
And?
Jesus.
Actually, not far off. The Devil's.
Oh.
And so you kind of see in Rosemary's Baby, there's a young couple that gets kind of like stalked by this satanic cult, and they make deals with people in New York City, and they have this beautiful building, and they like do all this stuff, and you kind of, so this is showing, that was in like, I want to say Roman Polanski was the director at the time. Like it's very famous and popular, but in it, I don't know how to explain it. So Apartment 7A was the movie I watched on Paramount Plus. I would give it like a 5.5, 6.
Is it worth a subscription?
I don't think it's worth a subscription, but if you have Paramount Plus, if you have Paramount Plus, it's worth the.
I will refuse to get Paramount Plus.
It's worth a watch.
Actually, my mom wants to get YouTube TV, and like I already have it, so I'm like, hey, we can split it. But she's like, I want Paramount Plus. I'm like, for what, mother? What do you want Paramount Plus for?
Survivor.
She doesn't watch Survivor.
Big Brother.
She doesn't watch Big Brother.
FBI Most Wanted.
Doesn't watch any of FBI.
What does she want?
I don't know. No. But crazy thing, she really wanted MGM.
I swear to God.
I swear.
Anyways. So speaking of mothers, so in this movie, we see a young girl. She's like she's like trying to make it in dancing. She's trying to like be a Broadway star. She wants to see her name in lights. It's Julia Garner. She was in Ozark.
I don't know who.
So she plays the main character.
Okay.
And she does a really good job. And there's a lot of interesting like style choices that like kind of updated and elevated from the original. I don't know. Maybe some people don't like it. I really liked it. But it was just a fun demon cult movie. That not words you would ever say.
Again. I don't fuck with none of that shit.
None of that demon shit.
Demon shit.
So 2 movies left, speed running. It's what's in. Wait. No, I want to do VHS Beyond. So I just watched VHS Beyond. If you have not watched the VHS movies, they are all anthologies. They are all, a movie that's like, it's like a loose storyline that's tied together with all these found footage films.
All they do is just put in the footage. Then you watch the footage, and then the footage is crazy as shit.
Like literally the most traumatizing things you'll ever see in your life. And what's interesting about this one is, so when I asked you, I looked this up later on. When I asked you, I was like, have you ever seen the movie Tusk, which is a horror movie that starred Justin Long and Johnny Depp? But if any of you have seen the movie Tusk, there is one storyline in this that is very similar, and it was directed by Justin Long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's also the final sequence was written by Mike Flanagan, who he was the mind behind Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, all those Netflix shows. And I think he just had a movie recently, but he's very popular in the Fall of the House of Usher. He's very popular in the horror space right now. He's actually doing a really good job. And so he did one of those. And that one was actually directed by Katie Siegel, who played in the Fall of the House of Usher. And she was also in.
Yeah.
And so it was just like really interesting to see it. And honestly, like, not to be a bitch, but like, the VHS movies had kind of petered off, and this one,
that's why I stopped watching them.
And this one, I feel like brought it back.
Where would you rank it?
They were like, oh, why would I rank it? I would say 7 for me. If you're a horror fan, you will like this. If you're not a horror fan, why the fuck are you watching this?
Where would you? There's no reason to watch VHS. If you're not a horror fan, where would you rank it in the VHS series though?
Oh, probably
third.
Yeah, I think it would be VHS, VHS 2, and then VHS Beyond. So the Beyond of it all is something that they haven't really dealt with. A lot of the stories, most of the stories deal directly with like alien encounters and alien life, and like it gets fucked up and it gets gross real fast.
That's the thing about VHS. They don't hold back on any of that shit.
It's some gross shit that they will show you, and it does not matter. But finally, last but not least, there's a new movie on Netflix, and I'm not going to say anything about it other than it's called It's What's Inside. It is a great, fun movie. What it is about these friends from college are all getting back together for a wedding, and
wait, I actually want to watch it. I actually was going to see this movie.
Yeah. And they're all getting back together for a wedding, but one of them they kind of had a falling out with, but he showed up to this. I'm pretty sure he was invited, but that's not really important. But he shows up to it and he brings a little surprise, and while he's been gone, he's been working on something, and I'm not going to say anything more than that. You should definitely go into this movie blind, not really knowing what everything is. That's how I saw it. I saw people talking about it online, and they're like, do not know anything about this going in. It's Friends. It's very like Knives Out meets Coherence. If you've never seen the movie Coherence, I don't know what I could base it off of, because Coherence is a very like singular. There's not a lot of movies like Coherence.
No.
So it's kind of a mix of it's a whodunit. It's what's going on. But it's like
what'd you rate it?
I'd give it an 8. I think it's really
8.
good. I think it's really good. It's really fun. I want to go back and watch it because it's
horror.
It's more sci-fi thriller than horror, but there are some horror. There are definitely some horror elements to it. I would classify it as a horror movie if you really pushed me, but think more.
I feel like if anybody pushed you, you would classify anything as horror.
Yeah. But specifically, it's more sci-fi thriller. So so if you're looking for something a little spookier, like it's getting into spooky season, but you don't fuck with that spooky shit, I think this would be a good one for you.
I fuck with spooky shit. I don't fuck with.
See, but like demons, witches, ghosts, it's none of that.
What's a good witch movie anymore? You know,
a good witch movie.
Yes.
I mean,
I need like some we say ghouls and like all these like I see those movies. What's the last witch movie that's like they made a movie called The Witch. Yes. I forgot. Sorry. But I mean,
if you're thinking in terms of like modern day witches, I would say they play a lot bigger role in television. Charmed.
Yeah.
Like those.
But they're not bad. They're not bad. Those kinds of
things. Like even in like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like those are.
We're getting fucking
but like
witches in Wicked. Yeah, that's the new witch.
Yeah, well, and even I'm thinking of like there was a show that had like 3 seasons. It was called Motherland Fort Salem, and it was about witches.
Oh yeah.
So like I think witches have definitely played a bigger role in TV, but like I don't know, since like The Craft, they tried doing The Craft Legacy, which just like
I need a new good zombie movie. That's what I need.
I feel like.
Do you not like zombie movies?
I like zombie movies. I feel like we've had enough, and people do them so often that there are so many bad ones.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that.
So like, if we got back to like 2006 zombie movies, sure.
Yeah.
But like,
I need like a better Resident Evil.
I really want to go see Terrifier 3. I heard it's more fucked up than the first 2.
Okay, we're done.
Come on, let's go.
We're done.
Please, will you watch clown tear people apart with me?
Our big topic this week is we're going to talk about a movie that just came out.
We saw it together.
We saw it together. Before we actually get into the movie, we're talking about Joker.
Folie à deux.
Folie à deux. They have not had a tour for this movie at all.
You know, I didn't know a press tour. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to talk about some facts that's happened before we talk about the actual movie.
Oh, I love when a straight man just starts with the facts.
There's not a press tour at all for this movie.
And it's so funny you say that because like I didn't even notice.
If you think about it, this is a DC Warner Brother movie.
Yeah. That they've been hyping up.
And they've been hyping up for 2 years at this point. No press tour. They didn't do screen testing on this movie at all.
I didn't know that.
So this shit is just went blind. This movie went blind. And you should probably go into this movie blind. To be honest, you don't really need to see Joker 1 to see this movie, actually.
Yeah,
because they hash the fuck out of the things that happen in Joker 1.
Well,
and we fucking get it.
And that's the thing.
All right, so let's actually talk about the movie.
That's not the thing. There's a lot of things.
There's a lot of problems with this movie. I give it a solid. Oh man, I was discussing with my wife, and she kept kind of like,
because I don't ever want to watch it again.
I give it a solid 3.
2, 3. I don't ever want to watch that movie again.
Yeah. No. Okay. So here's the biggest thing about this movie. It is, and I don't think any of the trailers, anything. Now there's been articles if they've said it, but I don't think people who pay attention to those articles will never know is that this movie is a musical.
But
if you don't know that's a musical, this movie will fuck up like your whole thought.
But here's my problem is I knew it was a musical. I was excited for it to be a musical. I really was. I was like, that's what all you incels get. Like that was me. But this shit was like, and I mean the way they just even described it, they're like, it's much more subdued, and it's not like it is. 2 hours of mainly Joaquin Phoenix mumble talking at a window. And then sometimes Lady Gaga comes in and maybe drops a good note here and there. But like she's pretty far removed from it anyways.
Here's the thing. Like with Lady Gaga, and I felt like it kind of hindered her, was that Joaquin Phoenix is not a singer.
No.
And at the end of the day, Joaquin Phoenix is the main character. And they did not want, and I get it, they did not want Lady Gaga to just upstage the whole thing with her musical talents and everything like that. And there's, I would say, 1 song or 2 songs where I was like, yeah, Lady Gaga's that bitch. Like, Lady Gaga is fucking fantastic and amazing.
There were like 2 songs. I just remember sitting there and every time, because there were long pauses between songs, and so you'd kind of.
I needed it.
You'd kind of exactly you needed it, and but then you would kind of forget that it was a musical for like 10 seconds, and then somebody starts singing, and you're just like, come on.
No, literally, like when I tell you, like literally, there's some people behind us. I was like, "Are you again?"
Yes, and and I'm such a. I am a sissy little gay boy. I was in musicals. I love musicals. This shit sucked because it wasn't a good musical and it wasn't a good movie.
So here's the premise of the movie. Basically Joker, he killed people in the first movie, and he's up to go to trial for the death penalty for killing those people. And he gets to go to a singing class, and that's where he discovers Harley Quinn. Lee, as they call her in the movie, and she loves him, and you can tell that he's kind of been suppressing Joker and trying to be Arthur. What's his last name?
Fleck.
Yeah, Arthur Fleck. He's trying to be him, But Joker kind of sometimes go out, and that's what I think the musicals were for, was to show that, hey, Joker is this, Joker is Joker is everything big and flamboyant, like he is everything. But and that's basically kind of the gist of the movie. The problem I had with the movie was that at points it felt random when they kind of dived into the musical part.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, and here's my thing. I like musicals. Like, don't get me wrong, probably not as much as you, but I actually really do enjoy musicals.
Yeah.
The purpose of this being a musical and all the music numbers was to show how crazy in the head that Joker is. And the problem with that is...
And the fantasy that they were in together.
Yes. Yeah. The problem with that is I knew how fucking crazy he was from the first movie. The second movie did not prove or show to me that he's crazier than I thought, or he's weirder than I thought, because like it felt like a different turn of like he's crazy in this first movie, but the second movie he's now can do musical. He can sing while he does it.
And it's just like and that's the thing the whole time, because we know from the first movie that he's not a reliable narrator. Yeah. So there for the first half of the movie, me and Jordan were just sitting there like, is she even real? Like, we don't know. Eventually we found out if she was real or not, but like it makes it harder to enjoy what's going on when you don't trust the filmmaker and you don't trust what you're gonna see. And I'm not saying that like it's because he was unreliable narrators. I do like an unreliable narrator, but unreliable to the point of chaos, which I get that was like kind of the point, but it still has to be watchable.
Yeah, no, it's just not. It wasn't enjoyable. The whole time, but also the ending, there's no payoff.
And that's kind of like, and we're not getting into spoiler territory, but like these movies didn't need to get made. There was literally no point to them, and it's gonna go nowhere.
Yeah, no. And again, I love the first Joker. Like, I actually really enjoyed it. I was like, this is a great take on Joker. And then the second one, I thought, holy shit, Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Oh yeah, like that is like easily fantastic.
It made sense, but then to take it and they just, here's the thing: stripped down, raw and emotional does not work for 2 hours straight. Like, we need some breath in there, and the songs didn't even give it that breath.
And here's the thing, like,
it was just dry.
Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor. I would probably put Joaquin Phoenix of like this century probably top 10, top 20 actor. But like, he's not a fucking top 10, top 20 singer. And like he's just like
yeah, that's the
and it's like
and it's like these long, slow close-ups on
they're
his
slow
face.
Like they're not, it's not fun, up tempo, like it is just
everything in this movie is so slow, and that's what really fucking got me, because then the song slowed it down even more.
Yes. And again, if I'm watching a musical, I want talent. Like, I want to enjoy people singing. Like, even in The Greatest Showman, like, freaking Hugh Jackman learned how to fucking sing and super talented. And Hathaway and fucking Les Mis is amazing. Like, these people, you can be not a traditional, like, you can be a traditional actor and learn how to fucking sing and then be in a musical. Joaquin did not learn how to fucking sing, and it's just what, like,
well, the amount of slow-mo establishing shots. I just, if every other shot is slow-mo and it's him slowly walking down a corridor, him slowly walking,
cigarette,
him
like
slowly smoking a cigarette.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie though, I will easily admit this. I do not smoke cigarettes. I'm very anti-nicotine. This made me want to smoke cigarettes.
It made me want to smoke a cigarette. But part of that is because the shit was so fucking boring. The most interesting thing in it is the amount
it really was.
Because like I'm sitting there and it's just, can I smoke? Can I smoke? You can't smoke in here. Can I smoke out there? Okay, can I have a cigarette? Tell me a joke. Okay, well, I'll tell you a joke for a cigarette. Fucking.
I wanted to smoke a cigarette after this movie.
And it's just, at the end of the day, I think the real problem is, I feel like the first movie had a thesis.
Yes.
And this movie had a thesis, but it never checked its sources because like it just. But like that's the thing is like what was the thesis? Because like was the thesis
there we go
maybe the one because like was it the fact that he was crazy or was the fact that she compounded his crazy? But then that didn't even end up mattering anyway.
No,
like that's the
thing. The ending gave us nothing at all.
Like.
Gave us nothing.
I don't want to spoil it, but goddamn it, it's hard because it's just like, what was this even for? Like, what?
No, don't know.
We should have just left it at 1.
Easily would have been fine with that ending. Didn't need a 2. Also, because again, like we have Robert Pattinson's the Batman. We're revamping everything for the DC EU for James Gunn's. Like, we're for Batman Brave and the Bold, so I don't even know if Joker's even going to be in it. But, like, we're revamping and doing a lot of things differently in this entire Warner Brothers DC universe. And I thought the first Joker was a great standalone movie.
Yeah.
And I would have been perfectly fine. They brought in Harley Quinn. That hyped everybody up because you want to see her be crazy, too. Because we've never, like we see Margot Robbie's kind of like...
Yeah.
Funny, charming, but a little crazy. But and that's what I love about the first one because, like, no, Joker's not just a crazy, like, he's not like.
He's more complicated than just
very,
being crazy.
like, he's not even like a crazy, like, oh, I just randomly kill people. Like a demented, fucked up in the head kind of thing. And I love that about Joker. And I wanted that from Harley. And I felt like.
I feel like it simplified it even more. Like it was more complex in the first one, and this one kind of just made it simple because they're in the defense. They're talking about like, oh, well, he's just crazy. So like, and like they're trying to throw it under that, and then Harley. Yeah,
he has 2 personalities.
Yeah,
that's how they're trying to throw out the case is saying that Joker did all those killings, not Arthur.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing, and like. Harley Quinn's or Lady Gaga's character is trying to pull the Joker out, and while Arthur's defense attorney is trying to say, no, Arthur, you're not this person, you're not Joker, and so it's kind of that battle, but
it didn't go anywhere.
It didn't go anywhere.
It was an interesting concept.
Yes, and I was fine with that concept.
But like the ending just pissed me off, and again 2-3.
Yeah, but again,
I want to watch this movie again.
The musical numbers just in the middle, just like you said.
But they're not even musical numbers. That's what pisses me off. It's like it's just somebody
talking,
kind of sort of
a little bit of a tone.
Because it's like and it's just, you've never heard these songs in your life, so it's not like you even care.
When the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. But again, there's points where I was just like, I see where this is going and I'm ready for it. And it just never
went there.
Never went there.
It went somewhere completely different and I hated it.
Yeah, no. So if you go see Joker, tell us what do you think? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe it was. No, we're not fucking wrong. This is a bad movie.
I was like, trust me, we've scoured the internet for reviews to make sure we weren't wrong because we both had the same experience and we were like,
yeah, no.
We were like,
but my other friend thinks like it's actually a decent movie. Yeah, I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Decent in what way? For what? Like, what was his? I'm guessing it was a him.
Yeah, it was
his
him.
reasoning.
No, him and her.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you about their thoughts later. But tell us your thoughts, fans. What do you guys think? Because I'm not impressed, and I'm glad that they confirmed that this is the last Joker movie.
I sure fucking hope so.
Oh my God. All right. And on that note, my name is Jordan.
And I'm Joe.
And this is Double Trouble Features.